we got a show for you guys today. Yes, indeed. No distractions like yesterday. Okay. I'm getting better at just kicking trolls out of the chat room instead of addressing them. You feel me? But make sure you guys are supporting the show. We need some support on the Cash App side of the game. So definitely support on the Cash App side. We would love to get a sponsor or two on the Cash App side of the game. If you want to sponsor the show, all you got to do is drop 100 or more. Y'all know what it is. So you see from the title, a 1977 movie. A scene from that movie has exposed the victim hustle perfectly. Some of y'all gonna say, what is the victim hustle? Right? What is the victim hustle? The victim hustle, put very simply, is it's a complicated concept that you've witnessed numerous times. You just didn't know what it was because there wasn't a name to put to it, right? The victim hustle is kind of like, I'll put it to you like this. People try to run the victim hustle on me. They try to run the victim hustle on Anton Daniels. Where's my man Will? Is my man Will still in here? Sel, you in here, bro? They also try to run that victim hustle on my man Will. They usually try to run this victim hustle on any black conservative that they come across, right? This is what the victim hustle is. The victim hustle is whenever somebody black that has succeeded in life or has the right mentality about life starts to critique the black community as it pertains to its dysfunction. Now, the reason that those black people that have the right mentality or have success or both are critiquing the black community is because they've figured out what works and what doesn't. They figured out how to pull themselves out of poverty. In fact, they figured out how to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which is something that black folk claim was impossible. We don't have no bootstraps. How we gonna pull ourselves up by them? Well, if that was true, then why is it we have black people that have actually pulled themselves up by their bootstraps? Right? So the moment that those successful, right-minded, right-thinking black people start trying to critique the black community because they're saying, look, y'all shouldn't be doing this and doing that and acting this way and doing that, because if you do that, you're going to stay in the same state you're in. If you change the way you think, if you change the way you operate, you'll be able to be successful. You'll be able to change your circumstances like me. The moment that we do that, the niggas in the hood will say, how dare you talk down on us? How dare you disparage us? You don't care about us. You just want to shit on us. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes they make a good argument. They'll hit you with all kinds of logic. They'll say, well, the thing about it is, I get that you want to help, but why are you airing out our dirty laundry for the whole world to see? Why does all the other races get to see you talk down on us? That's not unity. Right? So they'll hit you with that bullshit. They'll also hit you with the concept of well, you don't care about helping us. You just get pleasure out of shitting on us. You don't want to help us. You just want to virtue signal or dog whistle to white folk, because in the Negro's mind, they think that if you're a black person that talks enough shit about black people, that some white man is going to magically appear at your doorstep with a check for $10 million like Ed McMahon. In other words, they think and believe that it is monetarily beneficial for black people to talk about the dysfunction of black people. Now here's the interesting thing about this. The interesting thing is, for anybody logical, they would say, well, what's wrong with successful black people talking about the dysfunction of non-successful black people if it's the truth? The problem is the non-successful black people pretend like it's a lie. They pretend like the successful black people are making shit up. They pretend like the successful black people didn't leave the black neighborhood because it was bad. They only left the black neighborhood because they didn't like black people and they wanted to be around white people. They didn't leave the successful Negro didn't leave the black community because he was worried about his kid getting hit by a stray bullet. He didn't leave because he was worried about somebody breaking into his house and stealing his stuff. He didn't leave because he got tired of seeing the trash in front of his house. He didn't leave because he got tired of just ignorant nigger behavior in general. He only left because he desperately wants to be around white people. That's the way they think. Or is it the way they think? Is that actually the way they think? Or is it this? Is all of that shit just simply a defense mechanism? Wait a minute, Angry Man. What do you mean by a defense mechanism? What happens if you are struggling? Let's say that you're struggling. Let's say that you have Section 8. You get food stamps. You get all sorts of government assistance because it's difficult for you to get or keep a job. And you view the society as a society that is only beneficial to non-black people. That's your mentality. That's the way you grew up. That's the way your parents talk. That's the way your grandparents talk. That's the way all your friends and everybody in your social group talk. So you truly believe this. You believe the only people in the world, in America, that can benefit from America, that can benefit from the wealth of America, is non-black people. So you think the whole system, the whole game is rigged against you. But ironically, as rigged as the system is supposed to be against you, that same system is paying your rent, and putting food on your table. That's the irony of it, right? But you're in this situation, and then somebody comes along that is a black person that's from your neighborhood, that's grew up the same way you grew up, but they're successful. And they say to you, hey, man, I remember you from back in the day. How you been? And you start going into this whole spiel about how the man got you down, and how you have to live on Section 8 and you have to get food stamps and all of these different things. And so that guy, he sits there, he patiently listens to you or whatever. And he says, well, here's the problem, brother. You blaming everybody else for your problems. It's not everybody else's issue. What you have to do is you have to take some accountability and responsibility for your situation. Now, I can tell you what I did to get out of my situation. All I did was this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All you got to do is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you'll be able to get out of this situation. What happens if you sit there and you listen to him run down A, B, C, D, E, F, G? But as you're listening, you realize you're either too fucking stupid or too lazy to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or you just don't have a desire to do it. Well, you can't tell him that, because if you tell him that, it's going to confirm what he's saying. If you tell him that, we're gonna realize in that moment that the only difference between you and him is the fact that he actually is about something and you ain't. And there's no white man in that equation. It's only you and him. And his desire to do more for himself and your lack of desire to do more for yourself. So what happens is when the downtrodden, disenfranchised, oppressed by the man Negro realizes that he is not capable of doing what his brother did, when he realizes he's too lazy to do what his brother did, when he realizes he just doesn't have the desire to do what his brother did, he cannot admit that to his brother, because his brother can look him in the face and say, well, if you're not going to do shit, shut the fuck up complaining. No, he can't let his brother know that. So what he has to do is he has to get offended. Well, wait a minute, brother. You trying to say I didn't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G? I tried all of that and it didn't work. You just, the reason why it worked for you is because you knew this one, or you lucky, or you was around them white folk. Like, don't come down here to the hood trying to give me no lectures. See, that's the problem. You think you better than me. Oh, uppity ass bougie nigga. You think you better than me. See, that's the problem with you niggas that become successful and move out the hood and live around the white man. Now all of a sudden you think you're better than us. So then you come down here and want to talk trash to us and try to make us feel bad about our circumstances, as if you don't understand we living under a system of white supremacy. That's all that shit is. It's a hustle to hide the fact that niggas are unwilling or incapable of doing what needs to be done to change their circumstances. That's what it is. That's what the victim hustle is. Now, some of y'all gonna say, come on, Angryman, you gonna act like racism doesn't exist? I didn't say that. You gonna act like the system of white supremacy doesn't exist? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is there are two types of black people. There are black people that know racism, white supremacy, and all of that stuff exists, but they do not allow it to hinder them or be a roadblock for the things they're trying to accomplish. So even if those things arise, they figure out a way to fight through it. And then there's the other type of Negro. The other type of Negro knows those things exist and uses it as the excuse. Uses it as the excuse to not even try. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with on YouTube. There's so many dudes. The moment I get up here and I start talking my shit, there's so many dudes that will try to make it seem like I just want to talk down on black people. No, I'm actually trying to give you the keys to the kingdom to improve your situation. But see, it's much easier to blame the messenger. It's much easier to try to shit on me than to do what I'm saying do. Because the things I'm saying do, the things I'm saying to do requires work, requires dedication, requires discipline, requires having a standard. It's much easier to not do shit. Now, the interesting thing about this, and I'm not going to show you the video, but I'm going to play the sound. How many of you remember a movie back in the day called A Piece of the Action, starring Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier? How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that movie? How many of y'all remember that movie? And by the way, we need 10 people to support on the Cash App side of the game, y'all. We need 10 people to support on the Cash App side of the game. It's greatly appreciated. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play, I can't play the whole movie, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2 clips. I'm going to play 2 clips so that you can get an idea of what we're talking about, because this movie perfectly illustrates the victim hustle. Okay? Perfectly illustrates the victim hustle. Now I want you to listen. Let me pull it up on the screen real quick. Let's see. You guys let me know if you can hear it.
Now keep these in mind. They are the 3 points your prospective employers will be asking themselves. 1, can you do the...
Now, before I go any further, before I play more of it, this is what's going on in this movie. So this woman, this lady, is trying to teach young black kids, right? She's trying to teach young black kids the skills they need in order to get a job, right? They're at the Benjamin Banneker Community Center. So she's trying to teach these young black kids the skills that they need to be able to get a job. And they spend most of their time goofing off, trying to be class clowns, just like these niggas that come up here and sit on these panels or whatever. And she's going to end up getting into it with one of the girls there, right? I want you to listen to what the girl had to say to her, because it perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about.
Now keep these in mind. They are the 3 points your prospective employers will be asking themselves. 1, can you do the work? 2, are you dependable? And 3, can you get along with others? Now, Barbara, what are you reading?
Iceberg Slim.
Will you pay attention, please?
So she's trying to teach them. The girl she's going to get into it with is Barbara. Barbara's played by Cheryl Ralph Lee, I think that's her name. While she's trying to teach her this, she's reading Iceberg Slim, right? So she's like, what are you doing? Trying to teach you something.
Your mind tends to wander, Barbara. Now, class, your personal appearance is your first introduction.
Now, here's the crazy thing about it. This teacher, she keeps harping on Barbara, but Barbara don't even realize she's harping on her because she knows Barbara's intelligent, but Barbara bullshits.
To your employer. Barbara, will you put away that nail file?
Ooh-wee. There's your introduction. I mean, that's some personal appearance. Hey, I want to hear.
Now, for y'all that don't realize, that's when Sidney Poitier walks in wearing a suit and they start having a fit because he's got on a suit.
I want his job. Now, whatever he do, that's what I want to do.
You know what he do? Sweet Manny Mac, boss player, taking applications.
Uh-oh, get down time, y'all. Stable masters here.
Yeah, and in case y'all not realizing, this is when shit went off the rails in the 70s. You ever look back at history and you be like, damn, look at how much we was accomplishing during the civil rights era. What happened? Look at the 70s. Look at the 70s. All of that. Yeah, man. Dynamite, job time, turkey, all of that bullshit. That's where it went off the rails. Say, man, who you think you talking to, Jack? And I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't even think black people in the 70s really talk like that. I think, at least not to that extent. I'm pretty sure they use those terms, but all the extra theatrics, all of that shit, I think that was just television. That was just the way black folks were being portrayed on television with all of the extra shit. You feel me? Like, to put it this way, I don't believe there was a single black person that behaved like JJ from Good Times. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I do not believe that there was black folks going around talking about some dynamite, all that extra shit. You feel me? In fact, James from Good Times, John Amos, he had a serious problem with JJ. He did not like that character at all. Like there's numerous examples of characters back in the day that people really had a problem with because they said it was portraying black people in a negative light, right? But regardless, in my opinion, this is where it went off the rails. This is where it went off the rails, in my opinion, because I feel like there was a lot of people that would watch these movies and TV shows and would try to mimic that bullshit. You feel me?
Class, your personal appearance. That includes alertness and concentration. Denise, you be the applicant. And Barbara, you conduct the interview.
So Barbara walks up and sits down with an attitude because she don't want to do it. So she has one girl doing being the interviewer, and she's got Barbara up there doing the interview. And she's already going, well, no, she's got one girl interviewing, and she's got Barbara as the interviewer. Watch how she reacts. Watch how she acts.
Morning. My name is Denise Orville.
What's your name?
I told you.
Why do you want to work here? What's your address, your age, your mama's name, your sexual preferences?
Stop it. Barbara, how do you expect to get anything if you cannot keep your mind on it for 1 minute? You have the attention span of a 5-year-old.
Time, damn it.
What?
Time out. Bad-mouthing me about my attention span. I've been paying attention. That's what's wrong. I paid enough attention to peep your game, Ms. Thomas. So don't give me all that bullshit. You're shucking. I ain't never gonna get no damn job. Not with people like you around.
I beg your pardon.
You ain't deaf. I said if we all get jobs, it'll blow your game. Yeah, game. All you middle-class, bougie-ass niggas. I know where you coming from. All of y'all got the jobs and you making your money off of us.
Right on.
Administering to your lesser brethren and sisters. All us poor, deprived, ghetto chillin'. Shit! Now what you high-tone niggas make for this jive-ass number you running down on us, huh? 15,000? And Mr. Durrell, 15, 20,000? Well, if it wasn't for niggas like us, y'all wouldn't make shit.
See? This is what niggas do. They always performing. Nothing is ever serious. Here you have this woman trying to teach them the skills they need to get a job. And this disrespectful ass chick is talking shit to her. Talking cash shit, and none of the shit she's saying is legitimate. In fact, back then, somebody might even say that's some jive ass sucker shit that she just got through saying. That woman don't got to come down there and help them. That woman already where she need to be. You feel me? It's them that need the help. And it'll always be one in the bunch that will fuck it up for everybody simply because they don't know how to check their attitude. She's mad because she pointed out something about her that was real. She does have a problem with her attention span. She don't want to hear that shit. She don't want to admit that shit. So the easiest thing for her to do is to lash out and start talking shit to the woman that pointed it out.
Where y'all live, huh? Not around here, I bet you that. Am I right or wrong? So don't blow smoke up my ass about no friggin' job. My mama didn't raise no fools.
That's right.
Now I got enough attention span to know what's happening. What's happening is I can recognize a poverty pimp when I see one. What's happening is bourgeois bullshit.
Bob, you're not gonna get me on some kind of middle-class guilt. I went to school, Barbara. I put in my time and I paid my dues. I went to school, Barbara. It was hard work, and I worked hard.
My ass bleeds for you. So now you work hard on your game of underprivileged niggas. Can you do the work? Are you dependable? Can you get along well with others? Shit. Can you do the work? Now you put your attention span to that when you take your 15,000 and your tight ass self back to your first Negro in my block neighborhood and your electric vibrator. Now what you need is a man.
Yeah.
Or somebody, whatever gets you through the night.
That's a terrible thing to say to me. Even to imply such untruths. It's so unfair.
Oh, you mean like talking about somebody's attention span?
Right on. Right.
See what happens when you make it out of the hood and then you go back to the hood and try to teach savages something. You see what happens? Now she done talked so much shit to this lady. Another black woman. She done talked so much shit to this lady that she's literally storming out of the damn building in tears. Literally.
I didn't start that. I was minding my own business, playing her game. She had no call talking about how dumb we are.
Couldn't have been me right there, because I would have told her you are dumb. And all that woman was trying to do was help you. And look at how you treated her. And then you got the nerve to wonder why don't nobody want to come down to the hood and do shit. See, it's not the responsibility of black folk that have succeeded and left the hood. It's not their responsibility to come down to the hood and be your emotional punching bag. It's not their responsibility to come down there and try to have to get through to you. Oh, well, you know, they life is messed up and they got bad circumstances. So, you know, you got to be patient with them and you got to try to break through it. Man, fuck that shit. You either want help or you don't want help. If you don't want help, then stay in the situation you in. But don't turn around and get mad when I talk shit about you staying in the situation you in. See, that shit cuts both ways. See, what I find interesting is that we have a problem, or we'll try to make it seem like that teacher was tearing that student down. But the way that student reacted, have you ever noticed nobody black speaks up? When somebody is doing that to a black person that has succeeded, you notice nobody ever speaks up about that? Nobody ever talks about how niggas from the hood love to tear down black people that have succeeded. Nobody ever talks about that. That's not even part of the conversation, as if it don't happen, right? Now watch what she has to say about. So Sidney Poitier followed her. Watch what she had to say about the situation.
Hey, Barbara just got mad and went for that middle-class sore spot.
She's right.
Sarah, there's nothing wrong with being middle class. Nothing. The point is what you're doing.
But that's what I do, you know. I do make my living from their misery.
Seems to me you're in there working for a better life for them, Barbara included.
I give her credit. Barbara's bright. John is sharp. But most of these kids, the tragedy is the school system has done a rotten job. It hasn't taught the children, especially ghetto children, how to think through a problem, how to figure out what the problem is, and how to pick the right tools to solve it. Because life is a series of problems.
But I think the street is teaching them how to solve problems. I mean, not about a job maybe, but about hustling to survive. You know, well, myself, I know about that.
But these kids don't know jobs or hustling. That's why they're here. Anyway, street hustling is not an action. It's a reaction. It's accepting second-class status. But still the whole question of finding jobs for them, it's too late. It should have been gotten to, given proper direction when there were 3, 4, 5. And here they are at 17, 18, and here we are with a few $1,000s trying to clean up the damage, the mess the schools have spent millions to make.
Shout out to Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. If y'all haven't seen this movie, it's called A Piece of the Action, right? And even though the movie is not completely about this, the fact that they put this in the movie speaks volumes. It speaks volumes to Bill Cosby's dedication to trying to educate the black community, right? Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, right? So the interesting thing that I take away from this is the same problem that we have going on right now. It's the same exact problem that we have and that we're dealing with right now as we speak. So this is what, 50 some years later. This movie came out a year before I was born. Came out a year before I was born. Now watch what Sidney Poitier says to him. Because Sidney Poitier he tired of the shit. Watch what he say to him. What in the hell? Hold on 1 second, y'all. This goofy shit. By the way, make sure you guys are hitting the Cash App, supporting the show. Now you watch what Sidney Poitier has to say to him, because that's basically how my approach would be. You feel me? Because I'm not gonna sugarcoat the shit. Here we go.
Here on Thursdays and Fridays.
I know.
Yeah, but it's Monday and they're all here. And they said you were going to put them to work and pay them salary.
Yes, I did.
Oh, but you know they're not ready for that. And salaries. Hey, the kids are the responsibility of the center.
Let me try.
But on your own. Okay. All right. Okay.
The job is you work for me. Any objections?
I don't know, man. What you do? I mean, I'm too nervous to steal.
You're going to work here.
See what I mean? Everything's always a damn joke. Everything's always a joke. See, this is one thing that nobody really wants to address, right? When it comes to black people, everything's always a joke. You know the only time black people get serious? When they're angry. That's the only time. The only time the average black person is serious is when they're angry. Any other time, everything is a joke. Everything is funny. We got to be the class clown. We got to constantly be performing. We got to constantly be acting a damn fool. You hear it all. If you go back and watch this show, you see it the whole time. Matter of fact, you don't even got to watch this. Go back and watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and look at how Will Smith behaved on that show compared to how Carlton Banks behaved on that show. If you notice with Will, everything was a joke. He's always clowning. There's never a serious moment with him unless something messed up happens. You feel me?
Here, preparing yourselves to get and hold a job.
Ain't no big thing. We can do that. That ain't nothing.
$100 a week.
Exactly, Zoe. Exactly, Zorro. Fear-based behavior. It's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. Black people, because of the circumstances that many of them come from, they come from traumatic circumstances. So what they do is they try to make levity. They try to joke and laugh things off to try to escape from the bullshit, right? But whenever it's time to get serious is when they feel attacked. Or feel slighted or some shit like that. Then all of a sudden now it's time to be serious, right?
$4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Hello.
Get It's my money. And I'm gonna work your behinds to a 5 days a week.
Oh, man, what you do? I mean, I'm too nervous to steal.
You're going to work here, preparing yourselves to get and hold a job. $100 a week, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Hello.
It's my money. And I'm gonna work your behinds to a frazzle. There will be no whining, no bitching, and no shucking, or you're fired. Now, anybody wants out, now's the time.
Hey, Darrell, you did say you was going to give us half in advance.
You got it.
So he told him he was going to give him half in advance. So what he did is he took out the $100 bills and he tore them in half.
How is this?
Half. It's called incentive.
Incentive?
You get the other half at the end of the week. Anybody don't want it?
Miss Thomas. Miss Thomas over here.
So he took a bunch of $100 bills and he tore them in half, and he's giving all of them a half of $100 bill. And so they have to take seriously learning how to get a job in order to get the other half, right? Which makes sense because, you know, fastest way to get Black folk motivated to do something is to give them something beneficial. Like give them, like if you offering to pay, then individuals will get serious. You feel me? Now, after he gave them the halves of money, watch what he say to them. Now, keep in mind, this is the 70s. So $100 was a lot of money back then, especially for a kid from the hood, right? So each of them have a half of $100 bill. So they got to work throughout the week, paying attention, listening to the teacher to try to learn how to get a job, and then he'll give them the other half of the $100 bill. Watch what he say to him.
Let me tell you something. You all are a bunch of lazy, shiftless, no-good bums. You're the most useless bunch of misfits I have ever seen.
Take us somewhere else.
And those who ain't lazy are dumb. Here you are in the Benjamin Banneker Community Improvement Center, and you can't even spell it. Or tell me who Benjamin Banneker was.
You don't pay the rent.
Because you don't know nothing. And you don't want to know nothing. You wear your ignorance like a badge of honor and you call that being cool. Well, that's called masturbation. That's right. It may make you feel good, but it does not produce life. It is time you all start pulling your own weight. It is time you start being responsible for your own existence. It is time you had a say in how you live or how you die, instead of doing everything in your power to fail because it's easier.
Hey, Darrell, lighten up. Damn.
Yeah, you ain't gotta come on us like that.
Now listen, for reasons of my own, I got a stake in you all doing something and you all not failing. So I am going to keep these size 12 up your behinds until you get into a position not only where you can get a job, but keep it. We're gonna cut out every excuse you ever used to fail.
Hey, Darrell, that's cold.
Life is cold.
And what you get out of being so good, sugar daddy?
I got a soft heart, sweetie baby. Now, if you have the slightest interest in not going to your graves a total nothing, we are going to play the interview game on a professional basis. John?
Now, that's my approach. I don't got time to be trying to sugarcoat shit for niggas. I don't got time to be trying to pretend, because look, life ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Yeah, he don't pay the rent was crazy. When he said you don't even know who Benjamin Banneker was, is a, oh, well, he don't pay the rent. Like, what? Bruh, I'm telling you right now. This, and look, how many of y'all have seen this behavior today? How many of you have seen this behavior display itself today? Today. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. As they were talking, there was one black kid that was sitting in the back of the room, and they zoomed in on his face, right? Now, I'm going to play for you what he had to say, because he's going to ask two of them to come up there and do the interview game, and I want you to hear what this kid had to say when he asked him why he need a job.
You be the boss. Adrian, go get the job. All right, move it, move it. You're on salary.
Now, this is the first kid. This is not the one that they zoomed in on, the one that was sitting in the back. But watch this.
Good morning.
Where's your smile?
I ain't no Tom.
You gotta be a Tom to smile? What do you got against the boss?
Forget the damn boss.
Adrian, that is so smart. That is smart. You walk out, but he's got a job and you haven't, but you showed him, right? Look, you go to get a job because you've got to feed yourself or your family, and walk with pride because you are doing it. No welfare, no unemployment, no rich relatives, no church charities. Your own ass is on the line. Now, you want to be a man, a woman? Feed your family. All right, Adrian, going back to your chair. Willie.
Now, Willie was just sitting in the back, quiet. Willie was just sitting in the back, quiet, not saying nothing. Now, watch what he have to say.
Come for the job.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Willie Mangum. I came to see about a job.
Well, Mangum, why do you want to work for me?
Well, because actually, I'd just like to work anywhere. I need the job. I just want to work.
You need the job, then why did you leave your last job?
I haven't worked before. But
what?
But my mother, I'm old enough to be working now. My father is well, he's not there. And I have a little brother. Well, there's four of us. And my little brother, Timothy, well, he's not right. I know that. I mean, he's kind of slow. And the kids laugh at him sometimes. But it's not Timmy's fault. I mean, because he just likes everybody, but they laugh at him sometimes. And Mama tries, but she lost that little piece of job she had, cutbacks and everything. And the welfare sends some, but it's, see, Timothy can't be by himself. He's like a little baby, and I watch him some. Mama says I have to be a man now. But sometimes I get scared because it's hard sometimes. And she don't force me or nothing, but if I'm gonna be a man, and I gotta get me a job and help out or move or something. So I got in this program to get me a job, you know, to help out my family. And so Mama can watch Timmy. He almost hurt himself a couple of times, but he's really sweet and kind of a happy kid, you know. And if I'm gonna be a man, I gotta get me a job. Because of Timmy and Mama.
Now, she tried to walk over the teacher. She tried to walk over, right? Sidney Poitier stopped her. Like, it's one of those moments where it's like, no, let him be, let him deal with it.
You know, Mangum, people laugh sometimes, but they probably all like Timothy as much as you do. It's just their way, you know. You really want a job, don't you?
Yes, I want the job.
Well, are you sure you can do the work?
I'll learn it.
I think you will. You're all right, man. You ought to have a chance.
Now, this is the interesting thing about this part of the movie. It's at this part of the movie that you realize these kids technically don't really need a program to show them how to get a job first. What they really need first is therapy. This is why I always laugh whenever, even to this day, you got folks that say, therapy don't work, therapy don't this, therapy don't that. Them kids growing up in those circumstances, even the ones today growing up in these circumstances, they need therapy. Now, you listen to what he just said. Now, here he is. He's a teenager. His mother lost her job. His father ain't there. They got a kid that's probably autistic or whatever, special needs child, and he's got to get a job. He's probably heard his mother say, well, you're old enough to work now. You got to work and you got to help out. And he's afraid of disappointing her. He's afraid of not being able to get a job and letting his mother down. Like those children need therapy. Like real shit. This is the reason why they're lashing out like that and not taking things seriously. So the interesting part also about this is when the one girl is up there cutting up and every other student is in there goofing off and cracking jokes, he's been sitting in the back of that class the whole time. He hasn't made not one joke. He hasn't cut up in class. He hasn't talked shit to nobody because he's actually there because he needs to get a job. He's there because he needs that program. Now, the reason why I have to point this out is because oftentimes there will be Black people, Black teenagers, Black kids that are in the hood who genuinely want to improve their circumstances. So they'll go somewhere to learn something or to get into some sort of program, and they can't learn shit because there's some ignorant ass nigga that don't want to cope with his issues. So all he want to do is perform and show out and act a damn fool and try to entertain everybody. Meanwhile, you got them other kids sitting in there that want to learn something and they can't learn because of your ass. They can't learn because of her cutting up. Now, they're going to ask her to come up there, the one that just talks shit to the teacher, to Miss Thomas. Barbara, the one that talks shit to Miss Thomas. Watch this.
Willie, go out to the coffee machine and bring me a container of black coffee. Anybody else? Barbara?
Now, Barbara was the one that talked shit to Miss Thomas and made her run out of the room crying.
Good morning.
Look at the look on her face. Look at the look on her face. Just mad. Don't even know why.
Good morning.
I'm Barbara Hanley, and I'd like a job. And I'm not going to smile because I don't feel like it.
You're not feeling well, Barbara?
I don't feel like it because I'm mad.
Why are you mad, Barbara?
I don't know.
She don't even know. She don't even know. He asked her why she was mad. She said, I don't even know. I don't know. She don't even know why she mad. She sat there and talked all that shit to Miss Thomas. And she don't even know why she upset. I could guess. She probably lives in a household with her mother and her other siblings, and her mother probably has to work. The father probably isn't there. Or even if he is there, she has to take on extra responsibilities. She probably has to help raise her siblings, probably has to cook for them and all of that. And it probably stresses her out. And she probably is mad and lashes out on anybody that she thinks is living a better life than her, which is what she did to Miss Thomas. She lashed out on Miss Thomas because she probably feels like Miss Thomas had a better life than her. That's why she called a bourgeoisie nigga, that, you know, this, that, and the third. And if you notice, Miss Thomas, she said, that's not fair to me. I went through it. I worked. I went to school. I did what I needed to do for myself. But see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you have black folk. And this is the crazy thing. Black people that are still in bad situations, they don't realize, those of us that have succeeded, we come from that. So we're not talking shit to you because you're in the situation you're in. We understand why you're in the situation you're in. We just don't understand why you refuse to do what you need to do to get out of it. That's the problem. Because many of us realized the situation was bullshit. We realized it wasn't worth being in. So we figured out a way to get out of it. So we don't look back at y'all and say, look at the situation you in. It's your fault you're in the situation. Right? You're not the direct cause of the situation, but to remain in it is your fault. To not do what you need to do to get out of that situation, that is your fault. And like I said, with these kids in this situation, because they're teenagers at this point, like I said, they need therapy. She's mad. She doesn't even know why she's mad. She don't even know why she's upset.
I don't know. Why do you want to work here?
Let somebody else go. I'm not ready for this.
See? In therapy, it's a defense mechanism. They can't be vulnerable, because to be vulnerable is to put yourself in a position where you can be attacked. So the defense mechanism is to always have your guard up. Some Black people deal with it by joking and being the class clown. Some Black people deal with it by having an attitude. It's just like when you see somebody Black from the hood, you walk past them, and you look at them and they're like, what you looking at? Why are you looking at me? Right? Where does that come from? What is that? It's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. When someone doesn't like themselves, right? And someone's looking at you, you're going to lash out because you're afraid that they see what you think of yourself. So whatever it is you think yourself, if you think you're a bum, if you think you're raggedy, if you think you ain't got shit going on and somebody's looking at you too long, you're wondering if that's what they're thinking. So then you get mad. Then you want to lash out. I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest things that would solve a lot of the problems for the Black community is if Black people went to therapy. I keep saying this shit over and over again. I keep saying it over and over again. And the amount of Black people that I still hear to this day saying therapy doesn't work, that shit just scares the hell out of me. Because therapy does work. It does work. If you go there genuinely wanting help, if you go there genuinely wanting to solve the problem, therapy does work, because talking about what you're going through in an honest way instead of hiding it helps. Instead of creating barriers and walls and defense mechanisms and all of this shit, because people don't realize trauma, psychological trauma, is no different than getting a physical wound. If you don't tend to a physical wound, it festers, it gets gangrene, it gets infected, all of those different things. It's no different with a mental wound. It's no different. If you don't address it and you don't deal with it, it festers, it gets infected, it becomes a problem. And guess what? It branches out to other aspects of your psyche. And it shows itself in the worst places, kind of like I went to because think about it. Why are they even there? Why are they even there? The chick Barbara, why is she even there? If all she was going to do is curse out the teacher that's trying to help her learn how to get a job. I'll tell you why she's there. She's there because just like the rest of them kids, they know they need a job. They know they need help getting a job. But because they haven't dealt with those other psychological issues that come from growing up in the hood, that come from growing up in dysfunctional families, that trauma has festered in their brain. And guess what? It shows up in the worst places. And where is it showing up? At the Benjamin Banneker Center, where they're trying to learn how to get a job. She can't even make it through learning how to get a job without cursing the teacher out. You got other students up there that can't make it through the class without cracking jokes, acting a damn fool, dancing, all types of shit. But, the problem isn't the state of the community or the lack of a desire to go get therapy and deal with those mental issues. The biggest problem of the Black community is bourgeoisie Negroes that succeeded and made it out the community talking shit about the dysfunction of the community. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not the state of the community. It's not the mental health of the Black community, right? And I got news for you new age niggas running around here kissing each other's ass and blowing smoke up each other's ass and giving each other props. That's not the equivalent of mental health. Calling each other king and queen and how you doing, king? How you doing, queen? That's not mental health. That's you trying to put a Band-Aid on a damn scar or a cut that needs sutures. That's what that is. That's you self-medicating. And it's not going to work. See, here's the thing with other groups of people. Other groups of people don't have no problem going to therapy. They have absolutely no problem going to therapy. Absolutely no problem. The biggest problem in the Black community is mental health. And many of you Negroes that love to jump online and talk about all these bougie Negroes want to talk shit about the community. We supposed to be talking shit about the community if it ain't right. We supposed to be talking about, you got Negroes that jump up here and say, well, all you ever do is talk about the bad part of the community. Why you don't talk about the good part of the community? Because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. That's like saying all you mechanics ever do is fix cars that don't work. Why don't you fix the cars that work? Because they work. I don't address the good parts of the community because it doesn't need addressing. In other words, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The reason why I don't talk about Black people that are succeeding is because I don't need to talk about them. I don't need to address them. There's nothing to address. They're functioning correctly. You don't fix shit that isn't broken. You don't address shit that doesn't need to be addressed. And the fact that y'all can't comprehend that speaks volumes. It speaks to the fact that you lack comprehension. You lack critical thinking skills. You don't even understand the concept of problem solution. You don't even understand that. But with that being said, we still need 7 people on the Cash App side of the game to support the show before we go to these super chats. We still need 7 people to support the show before we go to these super chats. We still need 7 people. 7. And by the way, I don't know if y'all notice or not, but I'm looking at my collective number. My collective number of live viewers is 700. It's because I'm teaching something. If I was talking about some celebrity drama or some bullshit, it'd be over 1,000 people in here. Collectively, it would be over 1,000 people in here. That also speaks volumes. That also speaks volumes. But see, the Negroes that don't like me, they'll talk shit about the other shows. They won't come and watch a show like this and be like, yo, Angryman was dropping some science. Yo, Angryman was pointing out some things that we really need to address. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna keep running with their narrative, right? And by the way, we don't have a sponsor for the show. Can we get at least one sponsor for the show? Can we get at least one sponsor for the show? Like, damn, niggas don't even want to sponsor the educational shows. Y'all know when I be talking about celebrity drama and bullshit, we get at least 2-3 sponsors. What's going on? Let's get to the super chats, man.
It's that time again. We going up.
It's time to read the super chats.
See, shout out to Not DJ Mustard. Appreciate you. Let's see. Shout out to my man Quentin. He said, thanks for the stream. Appreciate you, broski.
That's that Bino energy.
Shout out to, let's see. Shout out to Abba's Child. Said, good evening, AM and Bino Nation. Appreciate you.
That's that Bino energy.
Shout out to Mr. GQ Smooth. Said, here to support. Appreciate you.
That's that Bino energy.
Shout out to Elijah. Said, supporting the show.
That's that Bino energy.
I already know what time it is. Y'all must not like shows like this one. I'll give y'all less shows like this. Cats really don't understand. You get more of what you pay for and less of what you don't. Shout out to my man. Let's see. Shout out to IMP with the salute. Appreciate you. Shout out to Dark Power. Shout out to Delin. Said, we are surely the people. Let's see. Shout out to SL. SL said, this is the bag I like you in. Peace. Appreciate you. Apparently, it's not the bag everyone else likes me in, because we don't even got a sponsor for tonight's show. And I'm just keeping it real. Shout out to Keels. Keels said, can we finally say Fight Club no goes under Anton Nuts mess this space up? I'm a Mapogo lion. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Chip Burner. Said, why do black folk dislike being called victims but want to be treated like victims? It's another mystery. Another mystery. Let's see. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time for my soliloquy. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up early. Because like I said, if you want more shows like this, you got to support shows like this. So, like I showed y'all earlier, well, I didn't show y'all anything, but the clip from the movie, A Piece of the Action from 1977, starring Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. If you watch that scene in the classroom about the young girl Barbara having a low attention span, right? The real hustler in that room is not the teacher, despite what Barbara had to say. Miss Thomas was trying to educate her, and she was showing a lack of interest and a very short attention span, right? And Barbara tried to say that she was a poverty pimp and that she was hustling. And I'm here to tell you right now, the real hustler in that room was never Miss Barbara, the teacher. The hustler was the student. She used her victimhood as a weapon to shame the one person actually qualified to lift her up. Calling that woman a poverty pimp wasn't pride. It was a smokescreen. So she'd never have to admit the teacher was right. Now, like I said, this movie came out in 1977, almost 50 years ago. One scene described us better than anything on the news right now. A woman offering free help and somebody attacking her for it. Nothing has changed. That's the part that should bother you. My bad, y'all. I'm reading something. Jay Jermaine said, this is one of your best shows, AM. Yeah, but guess what, Jay Jermaine? For some reason, cats don't really support my best shows. Like, they support the drama and the BS, fam. It's crazy. This is the show that should be getting the most support, but it's not, which is crazy to me. But like I said, this is the defense mechanism. This is the defense mechanism that the hood runs like clockwork. When you can't beat the truth, you attack the messenger. We've seen this numerous times all across YouTube. Cats do it every single day. You can't say, I've got work to do, or I need to do the work. So you can't say, I need to do the work. I need to change this, or I need to change that. That hurts. You feel me? To be vulnerable like that. So you say, who do you think you are? You sold out. You ain't even black. So you dress your shame up as righteousness. Everybody claps, and you stay exactly as stuck as you were before you started performing your little goofy antics. That teacher gave her the standard in one breath. She said, I went to school, I paid my dues, I worked hard. Then the realest line in that whole soliloquy she gave was, can you do the work? Are you dependable? Can you get along with others? The standard doesn't care about your feelings. It cares whether you can perform. That's the only thing that ever set anybody free. This is exactly why they come for me on YouTube. I say the same thing that the teacher said. And the comments fill up with sellout, coon, you hate your own people, all of that foolishness. No. I'm the one telling you the truth so you can improve. The hater is the one telling you to stay comfortable in your excuses. The messenger always gets attacked every single time. It never fails. The people trying to help you are already standing where you say you want to be. I don't have to do anything, really. I don't have to give anybody advice. I don't have to do any shows like this. I really don't. Y'all see it. These are not even the shows I get the most support on. I get the most support on celebrity gossip, celebrity drama. So I don't have to do this. I'm already standing where some of you want to be. That alone should make you sit down and listen. Attacking people who are trying to help you or point out, the flaws of how you're operating or the mess that you're in, attacking them doesn't make you proud. It's not supposed to be a sense of pride. It doesn't give you a better situation. It keeps you stuck. It's self-sabotage with an audience. So be honest with yourself. How many people who could have put you on or helped you did you push away just to protect your ego that hasn't taken you anywhere? How many times? How many times have you attacked or disparaged or tried to shame somebody who was genuinely giving you the keys to the kingdom that could have helped you out of your situation, but you couldn't listen because your ego wouldn't allow you to? That's really all it boils down to. We've been doing this since back in the day. And that's the main reason why the needle hasn't moved since the civil rights era. Because instead of black folks dealing with their issues, and I mean dealing, not coping. You can cope all day long, but eventually you have to deal with your issues. Until you deal with your issues, until you deal with your mental trauma and all of the BS that causes you to engage in the antics you engage in, you're never going to be able to improve. You're never going to learn anything that's going to benefit you. And that's just the truth, no matter how you cut it. Shout out to Chad for being a sponsor of the show. Thank God.
That's that Bino energy.
Oh, it's a lot better than we usually do.
All right, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Chad said the challenge with comprehension is the requirement of both the speaker and listener is to take ample time to develop the thought out fully by using facts along with comparison and contrast. Keep up the good work and articulation. I appreciate the love, fam. Shout out to you for being a sponsor of the show. But to everybody listening, I appreciate those of you who did appreciate the show. Shout out to everybody that did contribute. Shout out to Tahiri. Tahiri says support. I appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning in, showing support, showing love. Shout out to Brandon. Brandon said, you hitting on another level tonight, AM. I appreciate you, bro.
That's that Bino energy.
And for anybody watching this show on the replay, if you want to support, you can still support by hitting the Cash App, being a sponsor, any of that good stuff. It's definitely appreciated. But like I said, to everybody that tuned in, I appreciate you guys. Salute. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.
The session is closed. The board is dismissed.
I gave you the blueprint, now go build a estate. Stop arguing with broke, man, stop debating with fate. We don't negotiate value, we dictate the price. You watch the show for free, I just gave you a slice. But the real ones know where the equity lives. We taking everything, we got nothing to give. The manual is waiting, you know where it's at. This ain't a gamble, it's a guaranteed bet.
Go protect lead, go and plant the seed. Go protect lead, that's the code we need. Go to the side, secure the command. The Angryman channel, the standard of the land.
TheAngrymanChannel.com.
Get the shirt, get the boost.
Start watching, start working. We up.